And we pause. Did I get it? Got it. All right, what's going on, everybody? Today we have a viewer requested video, and it's basically what is the appeal of anime by Digibro. And I was really excited by this request because I know anime, it touches a lot of different cultures. Basically it touches like a bunch of different people across the board, people that you wouldn't really expect to like anime. I know for me growing up, um, I would catch a lot of people in Dragon Ball Z shirts, and now lately it's My Hero, Attack on Titan, a bunch of shows across the board. Anime is very uniting, and that's what I really like about it. So, without further ado, let's jump into it, see what they got to say about it.
Were I to try and explain in as few words as possible what is the appeal of art, I would state simply that art communicates.
Yeah,
Storytelling, for instance, is a means by which emotions, thoughts, and imaginations are packaged into narratives and moved from one mind into another.
very sure.
Illustrative art and photography can tell stories or can simply relay an understanding of aesthetic sensibilities. Illustrations in sequence can be combined with words and
Yeah.
strung into long form narratives containing a continual progression of ideas. Music
Hold
can
up, let
evoke.
me pause that. That was a really good point. Just a quick recommendation: if anybody's heard of Will Eisner, I strongly recommend the book "Comics and Sequential Art" by Will Eisner because it pretty much expands on the point that they just made. So, just a quick recommendation.
Feelings with an immediacy that words are often not capable of, and film allows us to edit and compile the elements of many other art forms into an amazingly specific presentation of ideas. Animation, then, is a style of film which allows us to take that specificity to an even greater extreme,
Yeah,
because it is not limited to capturing images which exist in reality. Whereas the greatest
that's very
power of
true.
photography over illustrative art is that it is less abstract and more intimate with our understanding of reality, the power of illustration is that it can reach deep into our psychological interpretations of reality and allow us to communicate ideas which we understand beyond what is represented in the world around us.
Very
In
good point.
theory, then, the appeal of animation isn't that different from the appeal of live action film, and the lines between the two keep getting blurrier as technology allows us to combine them into one package. And if you were looking at, say, the works of Hayao Miyazaki
Oh
or
yes, sir.
Satoshi Kon, then you could pretty easily say that the appeal of anime film is the same as the appeal of any animated film. But it's probably for this exact reason that many anime fans consider these films to be relatively unhelpful in explaining the appeal of anime, because the appeal of anime
Death Note.
really isn't the same as
My
the
one
appeal
of my
of other
favorites.
films. And the reason for that is entirely cultural. You see, ideally, a film could be anything. A film could be 4 seconds long and shot on a cell phone, or a film could be a 90-hour epic
Yeah,
created over the course of 20 years that tells the entire story of the universe. But in practice, that's not what film is. Film is an old enough and respected enough medium that it does enjoy some flexibility in terms of length and narrative style, but you don't
mhm.
get a lot of high budget films that aren't in the range of 80 minutes to 2.5 hours long. You don't get a lot of short films that have the personnel and means behind them to present their story with expensive
David
visuals and
Arquette.
all star voice acting. And that's because in every culture on our planet that produces art, that art is reliant on money. If we lived in a post scarcity world like Star Trek, where all of our needs were met and every individual could basically do whatever they want, then the scale of your art would really only be limited to how long your life is and how many people you can get on board with creating it. But since we live in a world wherein everyone has to make money in order to survive, unless they become the beneficiary of someone who can take care of them, then art is heavily influenced not only by the imaginations of the artist, but by their ability to create something consumable for the paying audience. In the long
Okay.
century of film's evolution, the medium has become closely tailored to the monetary needs of its production.
True.
You can't make a high budget movie if it's not going to
Fair.
recoup that budget, and therefore you have to make something which is going to appeal to a high number of people.
And
Art
that is kind of
is
limiting.
limited by the culture surrounding it. This brings us to the one medium of long form filmmaking which does exist in mainstream culture, the TV show, which nowadays is hardly ever on TV anymore, so we might as well start calling them film series or something. Even more so than regular films, TV series have been very strictly regimented to reflect the most populous, easily consumable, and broadly appealing types of storytelling possible. Episodes are almost always the same
Oh,
couple of
Daredevil.
lengths, no matter
Love
what kind of
Daredevil.
show it is. Genre conventions are usually followed to the letter, and the budgetary limitations of a series are directly proportional to what size and type of audience the work will have. Evolution within the medium occurs very
House of
slowly,
Cards. Very good
reflecting
show.
massive shifts in the cultural landscape of the world around them, and risks risks taken are very small and dealt with very gradually. This finally brings us to the subject of animation, and to the massive cultural divide which has made Japanese animation so appealing to a growing worldwide audience. You see, like any other kind of TV
The
show,
animated
animation in
Batman,
the
love
West
it.
has been very strictly regimented to fit a certain kind of audience. Even now, as Western animation has been experiencing a sort of golden age, with more and more shows embracing continuous narratives, broader demographic appeal, and more diverse subject matter, Western animated TV shows still inescapably fall into the genres of episodic comedy and action. While we do have shows now like Adventure Time and Rick and Morty and Moral
Love Rick and
that are
Morty.
able to present a more complex range of emotions and dive into more diverse themes, these shows are still, by and large, episodic comedies. Even though Avatar: The Last Airbender and Gravity Falls and Steven Universe have been involving more complex ongoing narratives across their episodes, they still operate under the umbrella of an episodic comedy series that can be easily picked up and enjoyed by new viewers along their run. Western animation is slowly becoming more diverse, and that is something to be celebrated, but when you take a look at the animation which has been coming out of Japan for the last 40 years and compare it to the progress which we've made so far, it's easy to understand the specific appeal of anime.
Yeah.
If you want the perfect example of what anime is capable
Yes.
of that simply
DBZ,
has not happened
perfect.
in Western filmmaking of any kind, you need look no further than the most world-renowned Japanese television series of all time, Dragon Ball. Between the original series and its even more popular sequel, Dragon Ball Z, there are 444 22-minute episodes of the series in total, bringing it to over 160 hours of film, which all contain one single continuous narrative. Dragon Ball Z is often
classic moment. Oh my god, when I was a kid, when I was a kid, dude, me and my friends had no clue how Goku was about to beat Frieza. When this man went Super Saiyan, I cannot explain. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna let the video go. I'm sorry.
The pacing of the series could be a hell of a lot tighter, and there have been other
Yu Hakusho
series which managed to tell the same kinds of stories with better overall presentation. But the quality of the show's construction notwithstanding, the fact that Dragon Ball Z is capable of dedicating entire seasons worth of episodes to individual protracted battles is precisely the point of its appeal.
Yeah.
What Dragon Ball Z has that no other film series in the world has managed to match outside of its own culture is an absolutely incredible sense of scale. And that's not the only kind of storytelling which is unique to Japanese animation. Nowhere else in the world will you find over 50 episodes of meditative, low-key, some might even say boring episodic adventures through a beautifully drawn rural countryside where nothing all that exciting usually happens. Nowhere else will there be the same number of episodes dedicated to young girls sailing around a Martian Venetia, quietly learning about life and coming of age without any kind of action. Nowhere else will 12 episodes of college ennui be unloaded in a visually esoteric blend of metaphors, high-speed dialogue, and creative use of repetition. Nowhere else will a high school full of hot girls beating the shit out of each other be used as a metaphor for the history of cultural imperialism. And those are just the things that you can get without even really trying. Once you've explored so deep into the medium that you can appreciate its own limitations and how it comments on, subverts, and plays with those limitations, you'll find yourself lost entirely in a grand meta-narrative the likes of which you could never imagine lurking under the surface of those wacky kung fu cartoons from that faraway island country. The appeal of anime is simply that anime has a lot more going on with it than any other kind of film.
It really does.
Anime has its limits, and those limits may eventually become
I'm positive. Like everything that he's hitting on is something I haven't really been able to put into words, but because a lot of people look at anime and they're just like, yo, why are you watching a cartoon? Why are you watching a kid's show? And the themes that anime tackles and that he perfectly put into words is that anime has the ability and the space to tackle it that other shows can't, and they're freed by one being drawn. You can do pretty much anything you want to. So you can have, and he said, Kill la Kill. You look at it, and on the surface, it's about why are these girls just fighting each other? But when you stop and break it down, it's about so many deeper things. So I'm really liking this video.
To those who want the medium to do specific things that it doesn't do enough of. But the fact that I can't think of a single anime story which has an accurate stylistic parallel to any Western animation besides the ones which are directly taking influence from
Full Metal Legend, of course I gotta watch that.
Level of creativity which the medium has achieved. The reason that anime is quickly growing in popularity throughout the world is because anime has given us something that we never would have known we wanted.
True.
Whereas TV series have typically been so carefully tailored to fit the needs of the broadest possible audience, anime variety of very specific art pieces, which are able to communicate
Oh
with
my
us
god.
in ways that we didn't see
Neon
before were
Genesis.
possible. Anime represents what I believe to be the rapidly emerging future of film, a far more decentralized.
Yes, that true. Like I know we're in the comic boom right now, where Marvel, DC is taking over, and before that it was the young adult. But yes, anime is up. Like we had Ghost in the Shell. I know we have on Netflix Full Metal Alchemist, and the less said about Death Note, the better. The Last Airbender, and I don't recognize Dragon Ball Evolution. We're not gonna talk about it. But I do want them to bring care to the anime adaptations that are coming, to treat it with respect, and to basically treat it adult, like he would treat Citizens Kane or Gone with the Wind. These movies that they hold in such high esteem and they consider adult. Anime can be adult if it is done right and if it is treated with respect. So again, I'm very, very thankful that this video was recommended. It is awesome.
Approach to the form and function of the medium, which is able to appeal to smaller, more specific
Love Drive.
people.
Great
While
movie.
the marketing techniques of anime have still
One
yet to
Punch.
adapt well to the modern internet age, I think that Japanese animation is predictive of how art is transforming in the current technological era. And for me personally, that's exactly what makes it so fascinating. Thanks again for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, then...
Dude, excellent video, excellent video. He hit every point that I've thought that I haven't really been able to articulate. Great video. Thanks for recommending it. Send me more like it, because I definitely want to watch more and just see other people's opinions on it so we can kind of talk, compare. But I'm going to let the video finish out. Thanks for viewing it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Like, share, subscribe.
Please share it to anyone that you think will appreciate it. And if you want to help me to make more of these videos, then consider supporting me.
And I'm definitely going to subscribe to this dude. Digibro. Great video.
Anime and you're trying to understand it better, then I recommend checking out some of these other videos of mine to get started on exploring the medium in greater depth. I'll see you in the next one.
Great video. Yeah. Wait. Send it.